Lance is a weapon with great defensive capabilities and accurate attacks. When mastered, Lance users are untouchable and can hit specific parts of monsters with ease. Lance is another weapon class that you cannot run with while it is unsheathed. This may feel very sluggish and slow, but the playstyle of Lance somewhat revolves around the monsters coming to you, with some exceptions. There are, of course, some mobility options, but don't be too aggressive all the time with Lance, or you'll risk putting yourself in a position where you can't block or even evade. Being hit by even small attacks will interrupt your actions. You can move while guarding and also attack while guarding, minimizing the time that you're vulnerable. Your stamina refills when you move while blocking, so it can be a good way to regain stamina while still protecting yourself. Although if you're using the shield a lot, you should bring stamina items to help with that. There are a couple in particular that will give you infinite stamina for a time, and it is invaluable to Lance. There are Lances with all elements and status ailments. Lance also has a counterattack, which is very fun to use and very effective against certain monsters and certain attacks. But be careful that you don't counter one attack just to be hit by another. Make sure if you're countering that you're doing it on the last hit in the monster's combo if they're doing one. Lance also has one of the strongest blocks in the game, and though it can seem like its main strength is in its block, you should think of it as the block enables you to be more aggressive, rather than you needing to hide behind it all the time. The block enables you to be much closer than other weapon types can be comfortably. When the monster tells you to back off, you simply hold up your shield and say no. Depending on your experience with games, Lance may feel very sluggish and difficult to use. It requires a bit of patience and understanding of the game mechanics, but more importantly, the monster's moveset. It's much easier to block and counter a monster when you know how their attacks look and how they can affect you. I encourage you to experiment with all 12 weapon classes eventually, whether or not the Lance is a good fit for you. There are 9 melee and 3 ranged, try them all. I won't be going into many advanced mechanics or calculations in this video. This will be more for a beginner and maybe some intermediate knowledge. Lance actions operate in groups of 3. You can thrust with the Lance 3 times before your character resets to neutral. This reset can be skipped by evading. The general attack pattern of the Lance is like this. You attack 3 times, then evade, attack 3 times again, evade, and so on. Blocking with the Lance will not drain sharpness like it would for Greatsword, since you are blocking with your shield. And, like with Sword and Shield, the shield bash attack will drain your sharpness, unfortunately. Lance does not roll like other weapons. Instead, you will do a back hop. Holding back on your analog stick while hopping backwards will hop further for the same stamina cost. After doing it, you won't be able to string another back hop. Because of this, it's recommended usually that you do this long back hop as your last hop if you need a bit of extra distance. The weapon and armor I'll be using can all be bought from the equipment shop, next to the smithy across from the item shop. Let's go over the attacks first, and I'll talk more about them afterwards during a hunt with Great Jaggi. Motion values, or MV, will be displayed up here and are the damage of that attack. Higher MVs mean a harder hitting attack. Like always, grab useful items from the blue box. Great Jaggi spawns in Area 5. We can use a shortcut in camp to Area 7 to get there. Use the paintball on Great Jaggi for the off chance that you lose him. The small monsters will be very problematic in this hunt, always interrupting you. Consider removing them first. Alternatively, watch your positioning and move, block, and back hop when necessary. You don't always need to attack the weakest part of a monster. Sometimes just getting in some damage is good enough. Lance has a variety of defensive options. Try and think about the implications and utility of all of them. If you want to get better, think about when it's best to counter, when to back hop, when to use the guard dash, etc. I just dropped sharpness. I want to sharpen, and I'll use a supply flash bomb to give myself the space to do so. When trying to flash a group of monsters, try and run in one direction to get them all to look at you first. Sometimes it's best to sit and wait for the monster to come to you. Other times you may want to sheath your weapon and reposition first. He just limped for a moment, he can be captured now. Yeah, okay. Lens can be tricky. It may take you a few hunts before you start to understand it. Don't give up. You'll get a little better each time you use it. I recommend you hunt Great Jaggi a few times and make his full armor set and upgrade your lance to the Thane Lance Plus. That will be arguably the best weapon and armor at this point in the game and will set you up for success. Take your time, be patient with yourself. If you like how Lance plays or looks but you feel like a sitting duck rather than a sturdy wall, just stick with it. You'll get the hang of it eventually. Until next time.